What's up, guys? This is DJ Matt, and welcome to another episode of Sports Chat with DJ Matt. As always, I'm joined by DJ Echo.
What up?
Yeah, so we got a lot to get to. We're going to kind of speed through football a little bit because there's a lot of basketball I want to get to. That's kind of the crux of this show today is going to be a lot of basketball. But we got to start out with the Saints. Okay, so Drew Brees has 5 broken ribs? Something like that?
And deflated lung or something. Collapsed lung, yeah.
So he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, more than likely. They're saying no one gave it a definitive timeline. I've heard best case scenario 2 to 3 weeks. Some people are saying more. So we really don't know when he's coming back. There's going to be at least 2 to 3 weeks probably till he comes back at the latest. So we play the Falcons this week. It's Atlanta week. And, up until now, the news just broke about who's going to start for the Saints.
Yeah, for us, like 25 minutes ago, but for y'all, probably a while ago, but whatever.
For us, it just broke like 5 minutes ago. But Taysom Hill has been named the starter for the Atlanta game. This is huge. What do you think about all that?
I've been saying it. Out of Taysom and Jameis, I would have started Jameis here. Because as we all know, Brees is probably going to be gone after this season. So you kind of want to I think the best thing to do would have been to start Jameis because I don't think that the Saints want to let go of Taysom Hill. So you kind of do the same thing that you do with Teddy Bridgewater. You start Jameis, let Jameis' stock grow much more. But also I think I don't know. I think it just would have been a better option. But that's just my personal opinion. I think Taysom will do fine. I mean, let's be honest, both of them are just going to be handing it off to Alvin Kamara most of the games, so it's whatever.
Downs all day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I just thought about this too. It's like, so Teddy, when he stepped in for Drew, he already been there a year before, though. This is James' first year in the system. Taysom's been there for 3 years now, 3 to 4 years. So Taysom knows the system better actually than James does at this moment. So maybe they're trusting that. Like, I think James is still going to get some playing time. I don't think Taysom's going to be the starter all the way. I think he's going to start the game probably the first drive or two. They're going to sprinkle in Jameis here and there. But I think Taysom has a better grip on the offense at this point because, he's been there for years now, and this is James' first year. I think they want to go with the guy who knows the system, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I still view Taysom as a non-quarterback player.
But this is the thing. If he plays well these next couple of weeks, if he's a starter throughout, all the next 2 or 3 games, if he's a starter and he plays well, that's got to give us hope that, okay, Taysom's our guy for the future. Because that's the one thing we've been complaining about is, yeah, Taysom can run the ball, catch the ball, all that stuff, but can he throw the ball? What is his passing ability? What is he as a quarterback? And that's what Saints fans want to see, I think, because they're saying he's the future, so let's see it. This is the perfect opportunity to see it.
Yeah, but the problem with that is right now, I don't think you're really going to get that. I think if Alvin Kamara wasn't as ridiculous as he is, I think we would get a better sense of how Taysom Hill would function as a quarterback, or even Jameis would function as a quarterback.
Right.
But you got to give the ball to Kamara.
Well, here's the thing though. Kamara signed for another 4 or 5 years. Thompson's there for another 4 or 5 years. So this is what the offense is going to look like without. You know what I mean? So it's a good test to see. Because all those pieces are going to be there next year.
Yeah, so, I know.
I don't know. I'm happy for Taysom. It sucks for Jameis. I did want to see Jameis start, actually, because this was a Teddy situation, for him to jumpstart his career again. This kind of – I don't know if it's something that – I'm kind of worried for Jameis now. Because, if he doesn't get to start over Taysom, is it because – do they think Taysom's better or do they – I don't know what it is. It's interesting how it goes, why Jameis didn't get the start.
Yeah, I really think that Taysom is just suited better as a put him anywheres on the field and just let him play kind of guy. I know that Taysom has said that he wants to be a starting quarterback in the league, and I don't doubt that he can't be a starting quarterback in the league. The only problem is that whenever all of the film that guys have on you, all 32 teams, is you playing tight end, is you playing on special teams, is you playing running back, even when you take snaps as quarterback, I would say that 85 to 90% of the time he runs with it. He doesn't throw it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when he does throw it, it's bombs. But, still, most of the tape that you have on him is as a quarterback. So it's almost in my mind, I know that he wants to be a starting quarterback. But for you to be a starting quarterback, he almost has to stop playing tight end, stop playing wide receiver, stop playing special teams, stop playing running back. But he's not going to do that because Taysom just wants to play football.
Yeah.
Jameis, on the other hand, is going to play quarterback. So I would almost say it's better to have that duo of Jameis is the starter, but we can put Taysom in like we do whenever Drew's on the field. Put Taysom in whenever we want to play. But
You know what's funny though? I think they said on ESPN, like they're talking about like who's potentially starting because they were talking about on Get Up. I think around 7:00 this morning. I was up early for some reason, but I was up at 7 watching Get Up, and they were discussing like because they hadn't named the starter yet. They just named the starter a couple minutes ago, so they were talking about James is probably going to start, and they were talking about how the Falcons are preparing for James. And I'm like, that's the total screw over on the Falcons. They're preparing for James, and we're throwing Taysom out there. So and I think that's why Sean Payton waited till this long to announce it. Because he knew that the Falcons were going to game plan for James. Because now it's kind of too late.
Okay, look, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Does it really matter who's in at quarterback this week? Does it really?
It kind of does because Falcons is going to be – I think Falcons could be a trap game. It could be a trap game. They're playing better than they did in the beginning of the year. And their offense is going to be explosive. Our defense – the key to this – because the next 4 weeks are winnable games for us. We should win. We should only have one more loss on the season. That's it. The Chiefs are the only game we should lose. Every other game we should win.
Yeah, I agree. I think every other game should be won if they lose to the Chiefs. So it's fine. But
yeah,
I wouldn't be.
But if our defense plays like it's been playing, I don't think I should worry that much. But that Falcons offense though, it's still elite. Like with Julio, I'm worried about that. I am. I really am. But if our defense get pressure on Matt Ryan, I think it'll be okay. So I think it could be a trap game.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine, but
I do too. But I still got that. It's Atlanta week. Atlanta weeks are always tough.
Yeah, Atlanta weeks are always tough. I know, but I just
also real quick before we get to game picks. Breaking news out of the NFL: Myles Garrett, defensive end for the Browns, have been ruled out against the Eagles after being placed on the COVID list.
So out for at least 2 weeks.
Well, we don't know if he has COVID. He's put on the list. That doesn't mean he has COVID. Maybe he was put on the COVID list earlier, but I think he was in close contact with somebody that had it. So I think you have to get 5 negative tests, and it's too late in the week so that's why he's out, I think.
Right.
Has it? Because they didn't say he has it, but he's on the list because he was in close contact. So he's not going to be able to play for Sunday.
Okay, well, I mean, they're playing an NFC East team, so it's like it's whatever.
Yeah. Right,
it's kind of an easy game.
Yeah, should be. The Browns I give the Browns a lot of credit. I know everyone's dogging on Baker. I know they're not like Baker's not putting up the best numbers, but they're still winning games. I mean, as long as they're winning games, who cares what the quarterback's doing? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I'm glad that I don't have Nick Chubb on fantasy, but I know to anyone who had Nick Chubb on fantasy this past week, we're just so mad.
I was watching Pat McAfee this week earlier, and it was like he was on, and he said like I think he was supposed to stop at the 10-yard line. But he was going too fast, so he passed the 10-yard line. He's like, "Oh crap!" So that's why he stepped out of bounds at the 1. He was supposed to stop at the 10, I think.
I don't know why. Okay, this is what I don't get though. Why don't you just score the touchdown? You were gonna go up by 2 scores, and there was only like 2 minutes left in the game. Like I know that technically
football's crazy. But here's the thing though. If he doesn't score the touchdown, the Browns keep the ball because it's a first down, so they don't ever get the ball back. So
I get that. I'm just saying like at that point you're already down on the field. You have like 2 minutes. I don't even think it was more than 2 minutes. I think it was like 1 minute and 40 seconds. You're up by 2 scores, and you have Houston has to go down, score a touchdown, kick an onside kick, and then go kick a field goal or get a touchdown.
I get it. I get your point, but it's 100%er. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the Browns won regardless, but I'm just saying, at that point you were on the 1-yard line. Like, just take the touchdown, man.
But that would have been seen as greedy, though. You can't be seen as greedy in the NFL. People don't like greedy. That's why no one likes Baker, because people think he's greedy.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If Nick Chubb would have ran the extra yard, would you have thought that he was greedy?
No. but the other team might have. It's like, okay, yeah, you got the first down, just fall down. I don't know. Football's weird. It's those unwritten rules. Like baseball has those stupid unwritten rules that you have to follow unless you get plunked in the head by baseball. It's that type of stuff. I don't know. Anyway, let's get the game picks. Too much about Brown talk already. So we both picked the Cardinals last night. That was a mistake.
Hey, you know what? It almost happened. I picked the Seahawks, and then
flopped. You should have stayed.
Yeah.
I thought the Cardinals were gonna. I didn't trust that Arizona. Okay, Seattle defense finally decided to play football for some reason. I don't know why.
No. Seattle defense decided to play on the last play of the game. They did not decide to play that whole game, except for the last play of the
21
game.
points. That's kind of good. I mean, for Seattle, I mean, I thought Arizona was going to put up 30-something, honestly. So, see, I thought Seattle did an okay job for most of the game, honestly. Like, they did a good enough job. But, I mean, Jesus, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. I will say though that again, I say this every time the Cardinals lose. It's fine. You know, we're still good. I'm still looking at the Seahawks, and if the defense keeps playing like they're playing, Seahawks aren't going anywhere. I'm sorry to say it. I don't care how good of a player Russell Wilson is. I don't care if he deserves MVP or not. If the Seahawks defense keep playing like that, I mean, one of the Cardinals touchdown last night, there was literally nobody in the area, wide open, and guess who was supposed to be covering that man? Jamal Adams. That was Jamal Adams' man, and he was just wide open, nobody near him. That's the Seahawks defense right there. So if they keep playing like and yeah, they got the sack in the last game. Congratulations. But if the Seahawks defense keep playing like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost in the first round in the first game that they play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I really would not be surprised.
Depending who they play against. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I don't trust Green Bay either because of their defense. I think the Super Bowl is either gonna be Tampa Bay or New Orleans. One of the two.
Yeah.
I think that's who's going to go down to. I don't know who else I trust in the NFC, honestly. I don't even trust the Saints that much either because, I mean, I don't know if their defense can keep playing like this. And Tampa Bay, I don't trust anybody in the NFC, honestly.
I think, though, I will say this. I think if the Saints defense plays really good this week, I think that would be like 3 weeks in a row that the Saints defense plays pretty well.
Yeah.
At that point, I would be willing to say I think the Saints defense has arrived. At that point, if they play good this week, I would be willing to say that because 1 week, fine.
Although I have Julio in fantasy, so I kind of hope they don't, but I kind of hope they do. So
Marshall Lattimore just such down Julio like he does Mike Evans every single time they play. You'd be so mad.
I'd be happy in that. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah.
Football-wise, I'd be happy. Fantasy-wise, I'd be upset.
I mean, I lost in fantasy. I mean, I'm 3-7 or whatever it is. So I'm
second place. Still going.
I'm strong. All right, so let's get the game picks. Like I said, we both picked the Cardinals. That sucked. So first game Sunday on the list here, we already talked about it already. Eagles Browns. Even though Myles Garrett's out, the Eagles are trash for whatever reason, so I got the Browns.
Yeah, I'll pick the Browns as well. I don't know. I mean, any NFC East team at this point, unless they're playing each other, it's like no need to pick any of them.
Yep. Next game, Atlanta, New Orleans. I got the Saints. They're at the Dome. I got the Saints.
Yeah, I'm not picking the Falcons. It may be a trap game. It may not be a trap game, but regardless, I think the Saints win.
Yep. Next game, Bengals at the football team. Who we got?
I don't know because Bengals have been pretty interesting. Like I think that they're a team that's better, but they're also not all that good. Like the offense is okay, the defense is just.
I don't think the defense is that bad. It's just they're in probably the toughest division in football in my opinion. And I don't know. It's one of those teams I feel like because they never really gotten blown out except for the Pittsburgh game last week. They really haven't been blown out. So I feel like Chargers, where it's like, yeah, there may not be like a great team or even a good team, but like they're a team that I feel like that could have like 5 wins maybe on the year, 4 or 5 wins. You know what I mean? So it's weird. I trust them more than the football team, though. I'll tell you that.
What?
I trust them more than the football team. Although Alex Smith is starting and he looked pretty good, other than those interceptions. But
I'll pick the Bengals.
All right, I got the Bengals too. Go Burrow. Next game we got Detroit against Carolina. We don't know if Teddy's gonna play. Teddy had that injury last week against the Buccaneers. He's day to day, they say.
We do know that Christian McCaffrey is not gonna play.
However, McCaffrey's not playing. So the backup's either going to be P.J. Walker from XFL fame, remember him, and then Will Greer. So those are the 2 backups. We don't know who's starting for them because they haven't announced.
This is kind of frustrating because this would be one of those games that I would say I would want to wait until I know what Teddy's doing, but we don't have that luxury. I think Carolina still wins, regardless of who's under center.
Well, I got the Lions.
All right.
No matter who starts at the Lions. The Lions are not a team that's good, but yet they're playing better than they have in past years. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, they definitely are, but this is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Carolina has just been on a silent roll as of recently. Like they're not beating everybody, but like they're playing really good as of recent. I think Teddy could potentially play, but even if he doesn't, I think Carolina can still pull it out.
Honestly, if I'm Carolina, I mean, you're not going to the playoffs probably. I'd sit Teddy out for this game. Let him sit this game to save him, you know, and then let the backups go. And then maybe the next week he can play. Because, I mean, you're not going to the playoffs or anything. I wouldn't put him out there if he's not 100%, honestly, just to protect him because I don't want Teddy getting even any more hurt.
Yeah.
I want him to keep playing. So next game should be a blowout. Steelers, Jacksonville. I got percent.
I have the Steelers as well, but I just want to make a couple notes. Pittsburgh almost lost to Dallas. I think that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville last week almost beat the Packers. I'm still picking the Steelers, but I'm just saying that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if the Jacksonville game is more of a testament to Jacksonville or Green Bay, but
more of a detriment to Green Bay because Green Bay, that's why I don't trust Green Bay. It's like their defense is not all there. Offensively, I think they're okay. It's just defensively, they can't seem to really stop anybody. You know what I mean? And I know they beat
I'm still picking Pittsburgh. I'm still picking Pittsburgh, but
can Pittsburgh go undefeated? I don't know. I think it's possible.
I think so. I mean, of course it's possible, but I don't think so. I think they'll drop a game or two.
Yeah, I got them at the 1 seed though. They're going to be the 1 seed in this playoffs.
Yeah.
You have to go through.
Which is frustrating because Kansas City is still number 1 in everyone's power rankings.
Okay. Next game is actually a really good game. We got Titans at the Ravens. I got the Ravens, but I mean, I don't know. Tennessee beat them in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, see, and this is my thing with that. Baltimore did not play all that good against New England. Now, to be granted, it was raining for part of that game, especially for that last drive, and then all of a sudden it just clears out. Bill Belichick has Mother Nature's phone number, ? But anyway, here's my problem. I want to pick Tennessee. Derrick Henry hasn't necessarily been playing like Derrick Henry as of recently.
Right. Well, they haven't. He's had less rushes. They've been. I think
right because AJ Brown and Corey Davis and AJ Brown have been doing pretty good. Ryan Tannehill has kind of stepped up. I don't know if this would be an upset, but I'm gonna go with the upset here, and I'm gonna pick Tennessee.
Okay. Here's my problem with Baltimore though. They don't. Their pass game is
non-existent.
Like last year, their pass game was decent enough, right? They've regressed. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's Lamar. I'm starting to blame the coaches more than Lamar.
Well,
and
this is the problem with that because Lamar has been complaining that defenses know what calls it. But that's what I was going to say. Because last season, the reason why Lamar worked out so well is because you didn't know whether or not he was going to run or pass because there was film of him passing. Right. But this season, all he's doing is running. And even if he passes, it's a check down to Mark Andrews.
And you have Des Bryant on your practice squad. Call him, put him on the actual roster, put him out there. You have Marquise Brown on the outside with Des Bryant. If Des Bryant's anything like he was 2 or 3 years ago, pass the ball downfield.
He's still good. I mean, he's been practicing ever since. Like there's film of him, so I think he's still there. I think he's still, but I don't know until. I'm not saying that Lamar needs to work on his passing, but
I'm not blaming Lamar for this. I'm blaming the coaches. It's the coaches.
What I'm saying is that they need to. Lamar needs to pass the ball more. Is what I'm saying because if you pass the ball more, it's going to open up the run game for him. But until that happens, defense are just going to stuff the box and force him to throw. He checks down the Mark Andrews. I mean, I don't know.
It's a tough year for Ravens receivers. I could see why Marquise is a little frustrated because I'm like, dude, give me the ball. I feel like he only targets him maybe 4 times a game, 4 or 5 times a game to fluck. I'm gonna fluck you, you know.
Anyway, next game.
More. All right, so next game. Speaking of the Patriots, New England at Houston. Who you got?
I don't like Houston this season. I'm picking New England.
All right, I got New England too.
I don't know. Houston is falling apart ever since trading away DeAndre Hopkins. Surprise, surprise.
Deshaun Watson would not have resigned that contract. He should have. That was
Anyway.
Miami Denver is the next game. Who you got for that one?
Oh, Miami. Miami's just came out of nowhere. Miami just showed everyone how to rebuild. That's how you rebuild.
Yeah, I'm on that bandwagon. I'm definitely on it. I love the Dolphins right now.
I'm limiting myself to one bandwagon this season, but if I wasn't, I
I'm on
might jump on that one.
at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of good teams. I like good teams. I mean, it is what it is. So next game. Actually, this game's actually interesting. Jets at Chargers. Okay, so
Interesting for the wrong reasons.
yeah. I mean, the Chargers have blown so many leads. I think they've blown more leads than the Falcons this year, if I'm not mistaken.
They are with the Chiefs and the Steelers, and they have not lost any games by more than 7 points. Like they have,
Yeah.
So
And Justin Herbert cut his hair. So is it a Samson situation where you cut your hair, you lose your superpowers?
I don't know. I kind of want to big brain this again, but last time it didn't work out. I mean, it almost worked out for me.
Almost.
This is my problem though. I don't trust the Chargers one bit.
That's my point.
Like,
I don't know the Jets or the Chargers. I don't know who I'm picking. I mean, I wrote down the Chargers, but I'm back and forth with it. I don't know who I mean,
after this, you're gonna have to solidify it. So I'm gonna give you a chance to change if you want to change.
No, I'm gonna stick with it.
All right. Well, I've got what we would say basketballs and a large brain that's not as large as I think it is. I'm once again picking the Jets. I'm going against rule number 1 of game picks. And rule number 1 is never pick the Jets. Always pick against the Jets. And I've broken that rule twice, ladies and gentlemen. And as long as the Jets keep playing teams like the Chargers, I'll break it again and again and again until the Jets finally win a game. I mean, at this point, they can win a game and they'll still get the first pick. So, I mean, might as well win one.
True. That's very true.
Might as well win one.
Well, Jaguars. If the Jaguars keep losing, they only have one win. So, such a Jets thing. Anyway,
I mean, the Jets will still get it though. I mean, let's be honest. All right. Anyway,
next game is, I think, might be game of the week. Packers at the Colts. That's a very good matchup, I think. I got the Packers though. As much as I love the Colts, I love the Packers just as much. But
I also have the Packers. I think it'll be a little bit of a. I don't want to say like a slugfest, but I definitely think that'll just be offense versus offense.
I think it's gonna be a defensive game.
And this is what I think. I think it's really going to be, can the Packers defense stop the offense, because we know that the Colts have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Yeah. Packers are one of the best offenses in the NFL. So that's just going to be back and forth the whole game. The question is the Colts offense better than the Packers defense? And I don't know, but I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Packers. I think the Packers squeeze it out. The Colts offense has not been
no. They're like the Titans, where it's like they're not going to wow you with anything. They're just going to play their game. You know what I mean? Like, they're not exciting teams except for the defense. The key for the Colts is going to be to establish the run game, because the Packers are a terrible run defense. So establish the run game and just don't turn the ball over. If Phil Rivers doesn't turn the ball over, the Colts have a chance. But I think that Packers offense is going to get hot. I don't know if Devontae Adams is playing, but I think he will.
I hope so. I could use some points from him this week.
I know Darius Leonard's pretty motivated because he heard Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee show on Tuesday saying how he thinks, I think, the 49ers linebacker was the best linebacker in the game, so he took that personally. So Darius Leonard is motivated for this game against the Packers. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring defensive battle, in my opinion, honestly.
We'll see.
So next game, we got Cowboys at the Vikings.
Vikings. I'm not picking the Cowboys. I'm not picking the Cowboys. I don't know if is Andy Dalton supposed to come back this week, or
wait, who?
Is Andy Dalton supposed to come back this week?
I think so.
It doesn't change my pick. It doesn't change my pick. I'm sorry.
They're not going to stop Dalvin.
I'm still picking the Packers.
So next game, Chiefs at the Raiders. It's a Sunday night. Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders already beat the Chiefs, but most of the Raiders defense is like quarantined right now because of COVID or whatever. So they've been doing meetings virtually. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I mean, I got the Chiefs in this one though. I think they're gonna get their
Yeah.
revenge.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs will too, but I will say that I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be closer than people, but I would say I don't think it'll be closer. But the Raiders beat the Chiefs already, so
I just
I don't know. I don't know.
I just think with that defense not being there at practice, I think it's going to hurt them. And I expect
Yeah.
the Chiefs to take some shots, and I think it's good. I think the Chiefs. I'm not going to say a blowout, but I think it's going to be a 2-score win against the Raiders.
Yeah.
So last game is a Monday night game. Good game. Rams at the Buccaneers. I'm picking the Bucks, but damn it, I want the Rams to win, and it's weird.
No, Rams have been looking better. Bucks are. This is the thing with the Buccaneers though. I feel like they go like 2 or 3 weeks and they're looking good, and then all of a sudden they just have a game where they just look god awful. And they've gone a couple weeks looking good. So something is telling me that this week they're just gonna look god awful against the Rams.
I like how it goes. Tampa Bay gets destroyed by the Saints, and the next week they play the Panthers. Now, I love what the Panthers are doing. I have a lot of respect for the Panthers. They're a better team than what people think they are. But still, Tampa Bay beats the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay beats the Panthers by a good bit, And everyone's like, oh, yeah, Tampa Bay's back. I'm like, not taking credit away from Carolina. I love Carolina, like I said, but it's not. They got to beat like the Chiefs.
They gotta beat a good team. If they would have done that against like a Seahawks or something or like a Chiefs. Or a Steelers, fine. Yeah. But against the Panthers, who's an average team, I don't know. Yeah. Let's see.
Aaron Donald, I hope Aaron Donald goes crazy, dude. I think if that pass rush gets to Brady, it's going to be a long day.
You know what? And here's what I think. I think the Rams win, but not because of Jared Goff.
No, it's not because of Jared Goff. God, no.
It's not going to be because of Jared Goff.
It's never because of Jared Goff. Trust me.
I'm at this point. I'm just YOLOing picks. I'm just YOLOing them.
I'm rooting for the Rams. And it's weird because I hate the Rams, but I'm rooting for them because we need the Bucks. Because especially if we drop the game against the Falcons, we need the
Bucks to lose. We need the Bucks.
The Bucks got the Chiefs next week too. So
honestly though, I just want the Bucks to lose a couple more games so we can have a little bit of a blanket.
Yeah, that's
what going in, if they could drop this game, if they could drop another game, okay, so they play the Rams this week, and then they play the Chiefs next week, and then they play the Vikings. So that's a 3-game stretch that's pretty difficult. So I think that they could drop at least 2 of those. So I would be happy with that.
Rams and Chiefs are 2 games that they need to lose.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. The Vikings, as much as Dalvin Cook is amazing, I don't think the Vikings.
I'm just saying it'll be a competitive game. I'm just saying that those are 3 games that I could realistically see them losing. I'm not saying that they will lose against the Vikings. I don't think that they will, but it's better than them playing the Jets. And it's just like, okay, that's an easy win, or they're playing against the Chargers. Watch the Chargers blow a 50-point lead, So
yeah. So those are the picks. Last week it was a clean sweep. All the picks we differed on, I won 3-0. I win. So
yeah.
You're up 6-3 on me for the year.
Still have a commanding lead, but I don't know. After this week, it'll probably be 6-4 because I just was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just picking. Let's see, games to watch. Let's see. So at the 12 o'clock, obviously, New Orleans, Atlanta.
4 games.
What? 4 games to watch. If you're one of those people who flip on CBS, we have Tennessee at Baltimore. That's the other one at the 12 o'clock that I would watch, since Atlanta and New Orleans is going to be on Fox. At the 3 o'clock, I would be paying attention to Green Bay and Indianapolis. And another one that could be interesting to watch would be Miami, Denver. I think that would be one that's kind of interesting.
If you're in Louisiana, and I would just keep it on Fox because you have the Saints Falcons at 12. Then right after you got Packers Colts. It's going to be on right after. Right. Although you have to listen to Troy Aikman, but hey,
and like I'm saying, if you're one of those people that flip between channels, just hope that it's Miami, Denver, and not just. Sunday night I would watch, and Monday night I would watch. So we've got a game to watch at every time slot. This is the first this week.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we don't.
So let's
get to a break. Oh wait, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, let me get a song up on the seg. No.
Yeah, Meg seg.
let's get to some basketball talk. Before we get to the Jrue Holiday and the Pelicans stuff. So yesterday, it was confirmed that Klay Thompson has a torn right Achilles.
That's an L,
Um,
bro. That's a
so
fat
he's
L.
out the year. So that's 2 years in a row that he has not played football. I mean, basketball.
Football. Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
You're
Maybe
right. That is 2 years in a row that he hasn't played football.
I meant basketball. I'm sorry.
Resounding analysis
So
from
the Warriors.
crew
So
here.
a lot of people were thinking the Warriors were going to be a contender. I thought so too. I thought they'd be one of the top 4 teams. But with Klay out, I think they're right with the Pelicans, Grizzlies, and the Suns, and like that type of tier. That's where I think the Warriors are at now. I think they can still make the playoffs, but they're not going to be that big of a threat.
Well, they have upgraded at center.
Yeah. They are trading for Bray.
That's true. They did do that.
But still, if Steph's healthy, then you can make an argument. But if Steph somehow gets hurt, then
Well, I mean, if Steph gets hurt, I mean, they're going to be a lottery team again.
Yeah. Sucks for the Warriors. I mean, as much as I hate the Warriors, the only reason why I hate the Warriors is because of Draymond. Like, even with KD, like I like KD still. I always like Steph. I always like Klay. I just hated the Warriors because of Draymond. I thought Draymond really didn't do much for the team. And
I just don't like the Warriors because they're like in the finals every year. I mean, they haven't been.
I get tired of them.
Yeah, that's
I still like the players, most of the players on the team. So let's talk about the CP3 trade. Whenever the Phoenix Suns made that trade, that's when I knew like they're not trading Devin Booker. Because they're not going to make that move if they're not going to keep Devin Booker. So
right.
But it didn't make it better though, honestly.
Now, whenever this happened, I was like, "Oh, Giannis is probably not going to stay in Milwaukee," but now I think he stays in Milwaukee. I think Giannis stays in Milwaukee.
The Bojan Bogdanovic trade didn't really go through. So
I thought it.
No,
I know that I saw that the reports said it didn't go through, but I thought after that it was like went through.
No, I think Bojan wants to be a restricted free agent. He wants to test free agency. I think he didn't. I don't think he agreed to the trade to begin with. So I don't think that trade's gonna happen. So I don't know if Giannis is gonna. I mean, look for the Pelicans trading Jrue and all the picks we got. If Giannis leaves, that helps us out because we get higher draft picks because of it. So, but
yeah.
I don't know. But back to the Phoenix though. Like I don't think that trade doesn't do much for me. I think they're definitely a playoff team, but they were a playoff team I thought before the trade. But it didn't make them like a 5 or 4 seed. They're still in the realm with the Grizzlies and the New Orleans. Like they're not.
Yeah, I will say that. And another thing that I will say is that their draft pick did not help their situation. I think.
I forgot who they drafted.
I think they kind of took a risk on their draft pick. Let me get that order.
I forgot who they drafted.
I'm trying to see. Who did that? Jalen Smith from Maryland.
Yeah, that's right. He's a guard, huh? Or he's a forward?
I think he's a center.
Oh, he's a center?
I think so.
How did they draft a center? They have Ayton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Phoenix is one of those weird teams. It's like they have potential to be great, but it's like I don't know if they'll reach it,
Yeah, I don't know either.
But let's get to the Jrue Holiday stuff. Okay, so when the trade first broke, like I knew it was coming. I was waiting for it. So I wasn't surprised that it happened. I was kind of surprised that it was Milwaukee that got him because we weren't really hearing Milwaukee too much. We were hearing
Boston, I was thinking
Denver,
Nets.
Yeah, Brooklyn, Miami, but when I first saw it, I saw that we got Eric Bledsoe, we got George Hill, and I was like, I didn't like the trade, but with the picks after I saw what picks we got, I was like, that's why we made the deal. It wasn't because of the players, it was the picks. That's what Griff was after. And after what happened draft night, the way the Pelicans handled draft night with all those trades.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that, but there's something cooking in New Orleans, I think, that needs to be addressed. But
playoff spot, that's what's cooking.
So I was disappointed in what we got in terms of the players. Because I think we're gonna trade Hill, honestly. I think we might keep Bledsoe, but we'll probably trade Hill. So but it was the picks. And they were saying how that was like Milwaukee had the best offer. Like no team could match that offer. Like Boston was scrambling to get enough picks. Like they were going to trade Kemba to the Pacers or something.
Yeah.
So,
I know that. Well, I saw that they were talking about trying to swap Kemba and Jrue. But
Boston would really wanted Jrue, but they couldn't get enough picks. That tells me that the trade wasn't like the offer in terms of players wasn't much, but in terms of what the picks, nobody can match the amount of picks that Milwaukee was willing to give.
And I think that that's what New Orleans was after.
That's
To
when
be
the
honest.
So I'm happy Jrue is on a contender. I hope for Drew's sake that Giannis stays so that they can still kind of be in contention. I want Jrue to win a championship. I really do. Like, I still love Jrue. Drew's not the one that wanted to leave. We just made the move, because as an organization we have to make those tough decisions.
Yeah, well, and the whenever you have so many people calling your phone saying, "Hey, I want Jrue Holiday, I want Jrue Holiday," and they're offering up all this stuff, like it's hard to not. We gave up one player for four picks and two players, like
something like that. Yeah.
so it's hard to not say no to something like that.
I mean, yeah, and Drew does not get enough respect around the league. I mean, the players understand,
Respect them.
but the media, they don't, because he's in New Orleans. No one cares about New Orleans really. Well, they might now because of Zion, but no one really cares about New Orleans. So he doesn't get enough respect that he deserves. This dude's a lockdown defender, can get you 20 a night. I mean, dude's one of the best guards in the league. I mean, this dude
straight up.
I'm serious. I want the Pelicans to retire Drew's number. I'm that serious about it because, like, honestly, no disrespect to AD, other than CP3, Drew's been the best player in franchise history, in my opinion. Like, you have CP3, then it's Jrue. I'll put AD third, maybe. I'm serious. That's how much I think of Jrue. Honestly.
It's wild.
Yeah. So I hope he does well in Milwaukee. I'm rooting for them. I really am. I'm serious. And I'm glad we traded him east and not west.
Yes.
So let's get to draft night. Talk about the Pelicans. So they had the 13th pick. There were no trades within the first 10 picks, which I thought was very weird. I was expecting the Pelicans to move up. I was expecting
there was a lot of chatter about moving up, but
didn't happen.
I think whenever Minnesota stayed at that point, it was kind of like, all right.
Well, I think once the CP3 trade happened, I think Minnesota was like, we're just gonna keep our pick.
Yeah, because I think that they were gunning for Devin Booker, but once they traded for CP3, they were saying, yeah, we're not trading Devin Booker. So
yeah. So the Pelicans draft Kyra Lewis Jr., who's a guard from Alabama. We have a lot of guards on this roster right now. Like I said, we're going to probably trade Hill, and we'll probably let a couple of other guards go. They're saying about him, because I didn't watch Alabama basketball. No one really does, but they're saying he's one of the fastest guards in the draft, and that he's got an underrated shooting percentage. So I think he's going to help in transition. So I think he could be a player that could definitely help us offensively. So I don't hate the pick at all. It's just, and we traded all our other picks. So what do you think about that?
We got stuff in return. So
yeah. So let's get so I watched the press conference after the draft where Griff talked and Trajan Landing talked and Stan Van Gundy talked. And Griff was only in there for like 30 seconds. He was like, I know y'all are going to ask me all about the trades that went down. I can't get into it. We're not finished yet. We have other trades. We're talking about other teams. Free agency starting today, actually. Tonight, free agency starts. So we got free agents that we're going to target. When you mentioned the other trades, I'm like, I think we're trading for somebody big. Now, I don't think we're going to trade for like a Giannis type. I don't think that's going to happen. But I could see us trading for a player that could be like a solid number 3 or number 2 maybe. You know what I mean? I think because I don't know if we're going to trade for anybody huge, but somebody that's big enough.
Trades for James Harden.
That crossed my mind, actually. I'm like, what if we did gun for James Harden? But James Harden not going to want to play New Orleans stuff.
Okay, but who's a player that you're like thinking of? Because
I don't know. Like, because they're going to be vague about it, obviously. So, and depending who they targeted for agency, I saw something where Aaron Baines from Phoenix, the center from Phoenix, could be a target for New Orleans, which I think makes sense. Because I think Favors is a free agent this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, but yeah, we definitely need some center help.
We need center help. So, yeah, I don't know. I think something's cooking. Something in the kitchen is cooking. I don't know what
you smell what the Pelicans are cooking?
They got those picks from Milwaukee. They got those second-round picks from the draft on draft night. They got – and then from the Lakers picks, they got – I think they said over the next, 6 years they have 12 picks in the first round or something?
Over the next 6 years, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the New Orleans Pelicans own the draft.
Yeah. Because Thunder –
you want draft picks, call them.
I think Thunder have 14. New Orleans has 12, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
you want
Maybe
draft picks? Call them.
it was something like that. So, but I don't see us using those draft picks. I think we're going to be trading those picks. I think we're getting somebody. I don't know who it
I
is.
think we're starting to get into a win now mode instead of a rebuild.
But this is the thing, though. We got to. Because if we don't start winning within the next year or two, or at least be in contention, whenever it's time for Zion to get a contract, he's going to want out. Because it's like, if we're not going to win here.
We can't pull another AD.
Yeah, we can't have another AD. So we have to bring in somebody else. I think we might be one piece away. I don't know.
I think so too.
I just don't know.
I think we're missing a guy who can get it, like a guard type who can get his own shot, who can make his own shot. I think that's someone who we might be missing.
Yeah, they're gonna be the Pelicans are gonna be a team to watch this free agency. And
I'm interested.
My biggest problem with getting Bledsoe and Hill in the Jrue Holiday trade was that I think Bledsoe's 31 and Hill's 33 or something like that. They're both in their 30s, so we didn't get any younger. I feel like I wanted us to get young talent that we can have here for years. To kind of solidify that core. You know what I mean? And I feel like we didn't do that in that trade. And that's what I thought we were doing in the trade, but that's not. We were just getting picks, really. So It's very interesting. Pelicans are going to be a team to watch. And free agency starts tonight. So let's see. They might make some moves tonight, maybe tomorrow. Something's going on. Something's happening.
So what do we think happens? What do we think's happening in Houston?
Okay, look. I like the Nets. I'm picking them to go to the finals next year, and I like the Nets. But I don't want to see another super team.
But here's the thing. Houston has come out and said that they are not trading James Harden to the Nets unless they get either Kyrie or KD in return.
Obviously, why would you screw over the rest of the league by trading James Harden for not Kyrie Irving? I mean,
the Nets are not going to do that, so I don't think that trade. Now, people have said that the Houston Rockets and the Brooklyn Nets have a verbal agreement to trade James Harden, but the Rockets want either KD or Kyrie in return.
And that defeats the whole purpose of the trade, though, because the point is to form the big three.
Right. The Nets are not going to do that. The Nets are not going to do that. So if the Nets want to make a big three, they're going to have to do it through free agency.
This is what I said the Nets should do. This is just me personally as a Thunder fan. This would be cool to see. Trade Russ and James Harden to Brooklyn for Kyrie and all those players. Like, form the Thunder big three again. I want to see them back together because that would be a great storyline. Like Russ and KD back together. That's what if that were to happen, I'd be okay with it. I'm like, okay, that's some drama. Let's get it going. But if they're just going to trade James Harden, I don't want another super team. I'm tired of super teams.
Hey, look, there's nothing that the Nets could give in return, in my eyes, for James Harden.
No.
That's not Kyrie or KD.
No.
Honestly.
No. And if I'm Houston, like they said that they're willing to get uncomfortable with both Westbrook and Harden because Westbrook wants out too. I think they just hold on to them and whenever they're free agency because Harden turned down his $50 million extension or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be gone, I think, after the season anyway, right? So you don't want to lose him for nothing, but at the same time, we don't want them to form a big three. Like, I don't know. I don't know what Houston's doing. I like how the Knicks fans were like, we're gonna get Westbrook. I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna get Westbrook. That's kind of.
Do you want Westbrook? Like, do you really want him though?
Does anyone really want you?
Yikes.
So that's a wild scene. I don't think Houston's gonna trade him though. No. They'll trade Russ, but I don't think they'll trade Harden.
Russ is, and this is the crazy thing. Russ is due more money than LeBron James thanks to that contract that he has.
Well, when OKC signed him, they were thinking, we just re-signed Paul George. Now we got Russ. We're gonna be, but then Paul George kind of was
and then. Yeah.
And credit to the Thunder. They turned those two trades into buku draft picks, and then they traded, CP3 for draft picks. It actually worked out to the Thunder. Actually, I think the Thunder were the big winners in the trade because LA didn't win the championship last year, and Paul George kind of crapped an egg. And then, Houston's not winning because of their play style. So, OKC, I think it's winners, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. Like, players are going to Thunder, and then they're leaving the Thunder. Like, they got Kelly Oubre, and then they're like, all right, we're shipping Kelly Oubre off.
And I think they might be trying to trade Steven Adams, too.
I think
maybe that's the trade the Pelicans are making. Would that be interesting for Steven Adams? I wouldn't mind that.
I would like that. I mean, but let's be honest. They're like, hey, just give us all the draft picks. We just want all the draft
That's the
picks.
only problem. We traded them all 12 draft picks. Now they got 20-something draft picks in the first round.
They own the first
Own
round
the
draft. Like honestly, like if anybody wants a draft pick, it's like call the Thunder. Call the Thunder.
Yeah, free agency.
Ridiculous.
Also,
Ridiculous.
AD opting out of his player option, so
That
he's
is
technically a
interesting.
free agent. But I think he's going to resign with the Lakers. But
Yeah, but I don't know why he wouldn't just.
because in the contract that he would sign, he would get more money than just whatever he would get in the player option, I think.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, he's
Because to me, if you planned on staying with the Lakers, I would just take the player option because at that point you won't have people calling you saying, "Oh, I see you're a free agent."
But here's the thing, though. AD got his championship.
Yeah.
He got a championship, so maybe now that he's satisfied in that area where I got a championship, now maybe I can go somewhere else. You know, like you know what I mean? I don't know.
I'll go.
I mean, I don't know. And that would also make the Lakers, because if somebody offers him a bigger deal than what the Lakers are going to offer, that would make the Lakers raise their prices too. So it could be a bidding war between AD, and AD is just trying to make the Lakers pay more money. Maybe it could be that kind of strategy. I don't know.
Man, what happens to the Lakers if AD just leaves?
I would jump for joy and laugh at him.
Die laughing.
That's what y'all get.
I would die laughing.
Like I said, when the trade happened, I said, look, the Lakers won it for now. You know, they got AD, they won the championship, so they won the trade for now.
For now.
The Falcons are winning it in the future. The Lakers in the next 2 or 3 years, after the next 2 or 3 years, they ain't going to really be nothing, honestly. Unless AD does resign and stay there, which I think is probably going to happen, but there's still uncertainty because, I mean, he's technically a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants, technically. So
Right.
it's interesting. So let's talk about the top of the draft because it was pretty by the numbers. Anthony Edwards went number 1 to Minnesota. James Wiseman went to Golden State. LaMelo went to Charlotte. Obi Toppin dropped a bit. He's in New York.
Yeah, he went to the Knicks.
Yeah. So he's from New York, so he's happy about it. He's probably the only person happy about it. And I like Obi. Obi was probably my favorite player in the draft, honestly. And he's in with the Knicks. Yeah. I don't know. The Knicks are weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I think all the teams, you know, Anthony Edwards makes sense in Minnesota. James Wiseman makes sense in Golden State.
LaMelo
was there in Charlotte. It was like let's pick him, you know.
If Charlotte trades for Russ, they could have a backcourt of Russ and LaMelo, which would be an interesting backcourt. There'd be a lot of flair. I don't know if it'd be a lot of winning, but it'd be a lot of flair, you know.
I mean,
for Charlotte, for a small market team, flair is pretty much what you need, not so much winning.
It's funny to think that Charlotte is such a small market team, considering that like
it is a small market team.
Michael Jordan is like involved with them, but
that's why he bought it because I mean, small market teams are not as expensive as so he could afford it. I mean,
yeah,
like New Orleans is not that expensive of a franchise. You know what I mean? Like if it ever becomes somebody will buy it because it's not.
They'll become an expensive franchise soon enough.
Yeah, once you start winning championships, then your price goes up. So hopefully we win some championships so we can get, you know, because that creates more revenue, that creates more publicity, that creates more money. Winning equals money.
And Zion will stay if that happens.
If we win a championship within the next 3 or 4 years, I expect Zion to stay, and he might be paid the highest paid basketball player of all time, maybe.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I think that'll happen. Maybe not this year. I think we go to the playoffs this year.
Oh, I think so too. Also,
but I think
that reminds me. Keep going with what you're saying though. You finish this off.
I think 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I think Pelicans start running the league. Honestly,
especially depending what we do in this free agency, what we do with if a trade's gonna happen, if you know who we get in free agency. I mean,
I would honestly, now that you mention it, I would love for us to trade for Steven Adams. I would love that trade.
That might be what we're doing. That's possible. I mean, because Thunder are looking to trade him. Because Thunder, I think, are going to kind of go through a rebuild. Last year was kind of a rebuild, but like I think they did better than they thought.
Not really. Yeah, I mean, it was a rebuild, but it kind of wasn't a rebuild.
Yeah.
Because they didn't trade away CP3 that year, so it's kind of like, okay, we're not rebuilding.
They were winning, so they were like, well, we're winning. Why would we ruin that?
Yeah.
It's a new season. It's like, and it's a shorter season, you know. So I think so. Yeah, I think they're gonna shop Steven Adams now. I think to the Pelicans makes a lot of sense because, like I said, I don't know what we're doing with Favors, and like Steven Adams is not a big scorer. That's my complaint about Favors. He's
But
not a scorer, but Steven Adams is a better scorer than Favors, though.
yeah.
I think Adams is a
But
better.
this is what I will say. I felt like even last season our hole was center. Like our hole was at center.
Interior defense. That was our hole. Because perimeter-wise, I think because we had Jrue and Lonzo's a solid defender too, and Bi. I think like perimeter-wise we were fine. It was when they in the paint we couldn't stop the paint, and Zion's still learning defense.
Yeah,
too.
and Zion, I don't think Zion's ever going to be a defender.
Yeah. He's gonna get
He's
some
going to
good
be a
shots.
scorer. Yeah.
That's why I like to hire Stan Van Gundy because he prioritizes defense, and that's the kind of coach I think we needed. We're still going to play fast, especially with the draft pick we got this year with Kyra. I think we're still going to commit to playing a fast pace, but also still kind of,
being able to play defense.
Emphasize defense. Yeah, that's why I like to hire Stan Van Gundy because I'm like he's gonna prioritize defense, and I think it's gonna help Zion be better, and depending who we get at center,
Right.
So I'm excited for the Pelicans this year. I think we're gonna be good, and the NBA said that there's going to be a play-in still, but this time with 4 teams, 7 seed through the 10 seed. So even if the Pelicans don't get to the 8 seed, they can get the 9th or 10th seed. They, play-in will happen. They can only lose once, I think, though. I think 7 and 8 only have to lose twice, but 7 and 8 have to lose once or whatever it is. But it's interesting. So it's going to put a lot of more teams in play, too, for the playoffs.
Which is good, yeah.
So
real quick, do you want to talk about your favorite player on your favorite team, Luka, Buddy Hield wanting to go to the Mavericks? What do you think about that?
I wish the Pelicans didn't get rid of Buddy Hield. I understand at that time it was a smart move because you got Boogie Cousins, and until Boogie got hurt, it was a good pairing of AD and Boogie. But I was like, whenever they traded Buddy, I was like, damn, we shouldn't have traded Buddy. And I was proven right. But
now he can go play with Luka, your favorite.
Love Luka. Yeah.
I know.
For him,
I'm aware.
Yeah, if I'm Buddy Hield, yeah, I'm going to play with Luka. But
you think Luka wins MVP this year? Because right now he's the betting odds favorite for MVP next season. Like I'm not saying to trust the bettors, but I'm just saying Luka's at the top of the favorites right now, which is wild.
Of Luka, I hope he wins. But here's the thing, though: KD's coming back this year, so if KD has a shot. Steph, without Clay, if Steph can pull the Warriors into a good playoff spot, I think you can make an argument for Steph. LeBron obviously is always in the argument. Giannis will always be in the argument.
Of course. Harden will shoot himself into the only conversation.
So it's tough to say who's really the favorite, but I'm rooting for Luka to win it. I mean, I don't know if I bet on it, but so there's that. Anything else you got?
No.
No, I think we got through everything for the most part. All the big stuff. Also, wait, didn't Philadelphia trade Al Horford to OKC too?
Yes.
That's another trade the Pelicans, because I said that whenever last offseason, I was like, because Al Horford was a free agent, I was like, the Pelicans should get Al Horford because he's a center that can play defense, but can also shoot the ball.
But you know what? Now that how Horford is on the Thunder, that leads me to believe that Steven Adams might be shipped out.
So, and also, Danny Green's been shipped around, so nobody wants Danny Green.
I know.
He's with Philly now. So you have Ben Simmons who doesn't shoot, and you have Danny Green that's either hot or cold. I don't know. That's kind of funny. Yeah. I think that's going to about do it for us today. I don't know when next Wednesday would be. I know next week's Thanksgiving. It's kind of tough. I don't know.
Yeah, we wouldn't really. I could do next Wednesday. Next Wednesday would be fun for me.
I could probably do next Wednesday too. So, yeah. So be on the lookout for that next Wednesday. We'll do a show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Sports Chat with DJ Matt 1. Subscribe, like, comment here. Go Taysom Hill.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Rams, I guess. Go Rams.
Yeah, sadly. Go Rams.
Go Rams.
Well, thank you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Wednesday.